Today, as a challenge, I'm going to give you the vertical blinds application problem, which will cover all the different ideas we've done in this section, including the if function, the choose, the VLOOKUP, and the index. Coming up next. Okay, here's the PDF file which describes the application in full details. Let me give you a couple ideas and some hints. I'll even give you a sample run of the program just to give you an idea what it's supposed to look like. So this is an application for a store that sells blinds, curtains, whatever you want to call them. And of course, you need measurements when you go there. And depending on the size of what you need, it'll be more money. And there'll be other things like certain styles will be worth more. And maybe if you buy more blinds, they'll give you a discount. So this first chart you see here, the inside part all the way along here, that's the guts of the table. This is where all your action is going to happen, probably with your index command. These numbers here on the side up to the 94 are the height measurements, and along the top are the width measurements of blinds. So if you buy a blind that's 72 inches high and 60 inches wide, it's going to cost you $83. Okay, this part here, I included it with the table, but it could be a separate piece. The valance is the little piece along the top that you attach the blinds to. And depending on the width, let's say it's a 42 width, it's going to cost you $10 per valance. Okay, let's slide up a little bit. As I mentioned, the blinds come in different styles. Some cost more, some don't change the price. For instance, if you get style number 5, it's going to cost you an extra 4% of whatever it cost for the blinds. Also, we've got some quantity discounts. If you buy 3 or less blinds, not going to give you any deal. If you buy 4 to 7 blinds, we're going to give you 5% off. All right, so here's the requirements for the question. You're going to ask the user to type in the width and height of the blinds, the style number, the valance width. It should be the same as the blind width, so they could be connected somehow in your spreadsheet, and the number of blinds you want to buy. And then your program should calculate the following. First thing is you're going to work out the price of the blinds before the style surcharge. Okay. Then once they pick the style, you're going to add together the price of the blinds and the style surcharge to be the set price of the blinds. Next, you could take those values and multiply it by the number of blinds you want to buy and work out your total so far. Then you need to calculate the price of the value and then multiply that number by the number of sets that you want to purchase. Then we're ready to add those numbers together to get the total blind price and valance price together. Now with that number, we're ready to work out a quantity discount if there's anything, and that depends on the number of sets of blinds you want to buy. And then we'll work out the net price after the discount. Last part is the 2 taxes that I've determined. One is 8% and one is 7%. I'll show you the exact details in a second. That's really up to you. You could change that as long as you basically get the gist of the actual problem. Here's my version of how it would look. You could modify it to suit your style. You should have a section here where you're entering in all the information, the widths and heights of the blinds, the style number, the valance width, the number of sets of blinds you need. This is where all the calculations start working out. So when you type in the width and height of the blinds, it's going to work out the price. Once they type in the style number, you should work out the charge. Add those together and you get sort of like your total so far. Okay, you got 8 sets of blinds, so 97.65 at 8 sets of blinds works out to 781. Then you've got the valances. Okay, so the valance width is 78. That means that valance costs you $16. Now you're going to order 8 of those, so that's 128. So now we've got a grand total of 909.20. You ordered 8 sets of blinds. You deserve a discount. Okay, according to the rules that I mentioned above. And then because it's a discount, you subtract, and we've got 841, and we work out a couple of taxes. Okay, to get a final price at $967.16. Let me show you the actual program and how it runs. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how it runs first, and then I'm going to stop, and then I want you to try to figure it out, and then we'll come back and show you the actual solutions. So here's where you're typing in the heights and widths of the blinds. Okay, and it's working out the totals. If we change that to 66, okay, the numbers change. The taxes I've written down here as PST 8% of the net price, and the GST is 7%. And these are just made up numbers. You can use whatever you want as long as you get the basic idea working. Okay, so there is the vertical blinds calculation. And I want you to spend a few minutes, use all your skills, see what you can come up with, and then we'll come back and show you the solution. Pretty good question, eh? Hopefully it gave you a bit of a challenge, get you to work on all your different skills from this section. Let's take a look at all the details. So obviously lots of lookups involved here. Let's go into the lookup sheet and look at all the bits and pieces. So here in yellow is our master chart. This is where our calculation for the price of the blinds occurs. The stuff in yellow is the actual table, okay, which I called the prices table. These numbers here are not really part of the table. They're just there to make it look pretty, okay? And of course, the numbers along the top are the widths, and the numbers along the side are the heights. Now, these need helper tables, right? So here are our helper tables. So when the person types in one of the blind heights, we need to figure out what row that is, okay? So these guys down here need help. Okay, so that's one helper table, which I called the height table. The widths along the top also need some help. So when a person types in one of the widths, it's going to come back and tell us what column we need to get to. All right. The valance is exactly the same as the width. The valance goes along the top of the blinds to sort of be attached to. And here are the widths, and these are the prices. This table here is not a helper table. We'll use this as a VLOOKUP to work out the exact prices. Okay, so that's all the little bits and pieces we need. Let's go back here now and show you the math calculation. First thing I did to save a bit of time is the valance width always matches this number right here. So I wrote it down as a formula, equals B4. So whatever you type in there, that automatically becomes the same number. Okay, first one is the most complicated and largest one. This is how you work out the price of the blinds. We're going to use an index command. It's going to search through our prices table. And then we're going to have two separate sets of VLOOKUPs, one for the height to work out this magic row number, and one for the widths to work out the magic column number. Okay, once that's calculated, we work out the value of the blinds. The style surcharge, okay, comes from this 2, and it's a bunch of choose commands. All right, so depending on the style, there's 9 different styles. You're going to be charged an extra sort of surcharge on top of the original price. So we're taking the E4 and multiplying it by a percentage, and then we add those two together to get the final price of the blinds. Now, we wanted 44 sets in this example, okay? So we're going to take this number, times it by 44 to get 3,000 something, okay? Next is the valance. The valance width is 66. So what we do is we use a VLOOKUP on the valance table. Remember this table right here? Okay. And that will give us the price of the valance. We've ordered 44 of them, so that works out to $616. Add this number to this to get this total. Quantity discount. We ordered 44 sets. Now this one involves, looks like an if statement. Ooh, that's one of those ugly ones with the embedded stuff in it. Very ugly, because we've got a number of different conditions to satisfy, okay? So if the valances are less than or equal to 3, you get no discount whatsoever. Now, if that's not true, and you order more than 3, like 4 up to 7, then we worry about this case, less than 7. In that case, you get 5% discount. So whatever the total was, we take 5% of that. Now, if that's not the case, and you ordered between 8 and 10, that's this case, and you get 7.5% discount. And then over 10, 11, 12, whatever, you get 10% off. Okay, so that's how those calculations are done. And you can tell here, we ordered 44 sets of blinds, so we got 10%. So 4,352, 10% of that is 435.20. All right, now we have our totals, take away our discount, that's our net price. We work out some sales tax, so to speak, okay, 8% and 7%. Those get added on, obviously tax always gets added on, and there's our final bill. All right, so there is a nice application that incorporates the choose, the if, the VLOOKUP, the index, all kinds of neat things, and how it can be implemented in a practical application. Thanks for listening. Take care.